This is the first time I'm using video software. This is weird. So one thing I forgot, I want to add this at the front of the video, is I actually got a hold of Corey Toomer, my buddy Alpaca. He was able to actually get his phone number. We talked to him, and this guy was actually hacked, right? So this is something I tweeted out, but I did want to put this out on YouTube as well, so that anybody who was curious about what's actually happening here could track that, right? The guy was hacked, right? It's one of those situations where it's the Spider-Man meme where there was an impersonator that was being impersonated by an impersonator. So it's like this impersonation, triple kind of butt buddy situation here. And it wasn't on him, right? So I do want to put that out there so anybody who is wondering can track that. And now we can get into the video. I'm trying to get Titan up here, guys. I'm really trying my best. Titan, come here, buddy. Come here. We got him. I brought him to the vet, and they checked him for a bunch of stuff. They checked him for, for rabies. They checked his fecal matter. They checked him for fleas, and they found that he had fleas because he was a stray cat before I got him. So we got him treated. He's got this stuff on his neck. It was like a one-time treatment, going in for another appointment here in a couple of weeks. And we also got him a flea collar, and we put it on him today. And Titan is not freaking. He's not hanging in Kraken Kingdom right now. He's really not freaking. He's not digging that thing. But we got to take care of the little dude until he's freaking. He's good to go. Nonetheless, what is up, everybody? I'm the Trey's Praise. We freaking talk fast, so don't skip class like the premise by saying I'm gonna find your advisor expert. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. So today, my friends, my family, my fellow Gorilla Gang, it's obviously not a fun day to make a video of this nature, right? It's easy in the last couple days to feel like you're just kind of getting slumped, just getting smacked. And to be completely blunt with you, I wish I could come out here today and say that tomorrow's outlook is better, right? But I do want to talk about controllable factors, and the actual stock price in and of itself as an individual person is not something that you can control unless you're someone like Melvin Capital or Citadel, who controls freaking billions of dollars of liquidity, in which case Kenny Griffin, if you're watching this and you want to go long on the stock, you can piss off. You can go long on something else. I'm just playing. But nonetheless, we're going to go over a couple different things here, right? We do have good news in terms of the Ortex status short interest, because that has increased over the last 24 hours. The options flow, not looking good. It looks pretty freaking bearish. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And we are going to finish it off with just a look at the charts, like a brief one. And we all kind of know the short-term microscopic direction that things are slowly moving in right now, and we have to be real with that, right? We have to not expect one day a miracle in the next 10, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. What's laid out right now is sadly what you're watching happen, And I want to talk about the controllables at the end, which I think is the best possible way that I can wrap this up, because that is ultimately what we can do as individual people, right? It's control the inner circle. You got this inner circle of things you can do and the outer circle in which you cannot do. So we're going to go over a couple of things here. Let's get into the freaking video. So we're going to start off here with the Ortex data, and this is actually looking pretty decent, right? It did go up today. It's up 4.88%, 19.54% current short interest of free float. And you look at the overall stock, and I do have a hypothesis, a theory, that you are watching some of these institutions liquidate out of the position, which is forcing some of this short down. But of course, you have other factors that are coming into play here, right? You've got the Evergrande situation, which is it forced the whole market to gap down on the last trade day on Monday, and is kind of just playing a factor. On top of that, you have the short interest. You have the dark pool trading, which is taking up over freaking half of AMC's volume. And if people don't think that's a problem, I don't know what you're looking at, man. just the name dark pool. It sounds like Deadpool, right? Deadpool's cool though, so I shouldn't get him twisted like that. Oh man, what am I doing? Terrible example, because I fuck with Deadpool heavy, but I do not fuck with dark pools. I'll tell you that right now. Just the name though, seriously. There's all these different things that are playing into the AMC stock price, like dark pools, like naked short selling, like failure to delivers, like heavy derivatives puts that are getting hidden as short interest, and you can see it pushing the price down, and short interest is a piece of that, right? You see the short interest is going up, utilization is going back up, it's at 90.98%, cost to borrow no significant change, but is the stock being heavily shorted? Have the shorts cover their positions? You know the answer to both of these questions just by looking at the stock and looking at the overall data, right? It is a heavily shorted stock. There's a lot of big names out there, a lot of big wigs who are trying to push this down and say piss off to the little guys and to the apes. And I've said this message a million times, but it hasn't changed, right? And the day that the data changes for me is the day that you cross that bridge. But has the data changed? Have things actually changed? Have the problems been solved? Are dark pools still an issue within the stock market? Is payment for order flow one of the best ways for big brokerages and big firms to make money within the stock market. Yes, right? There's all of these systemic problems that still exist, and AMC being the culmination of that, being sort of the physical manifestation of all these problems that people are mad about. None of those things have changed. You can see that right here in front of you with the data. Now, this is a tough thing to talk about, right? I looked at the options flow yesterday. This is unusual whales. This is essentially just a way to gauge future price action, microscopic price action to the up or the downside. And looking at the data yesterday, it was extremely bearish. You had a lot of puts that were rolling into the overall stock, and you have the same thing today, right? And I said in yesterday's video, I don't think you're done watching this pain yet. And just based on the overall trend, based on the fact that you really haven't gotten much of a bounce on the stock, right? Based on the fact that the options flow is still extremely bearish, it sucks to say, but there is still heavy freaking put interest in the stock. They're targeting the $37 strike. They're also targeting that November date. And I don't necessarily think that means they're going to watch us drain freaking all the way up to November, but I do think it means that there is a short-term move to the downside still to come. And that kind of brings me into the actual chart itself and my message I want to be able to close this off with. Where is this currently trading, right? Well, it did break this uptrend. AMC broke the uptrend. It's currently in a new downtrend. That's the trend that ended up coming to fruition. In one of my previous videos, I think it was last Friday, I said you were channel trading and I was uncertain which way this is going to go. The options flow is split straight down the middle. The TA was literally just AMC trading back and forth in the channel between 40 and 52 bucks. You were watching that happen and waiting to see which direction this would go, and it went down. There's no other way to put it, right? You have all these big firms out there who are pushing the stock price down, who are shorting this stock. You've got some selling pressure coming from probably institutions, maybe a couple of people, right? But overall, this is the picture you're looking at. The picture you're looking at, straight as it gets, is the people that are making you mad, making this happen. You know, the mass majority of this being owned by retail investors. You're not going to have just some random Joe Schmo who says, hey, look, I'm going to buy AMC stock because I like the fundamentals and blah, blah, blah. They're in it because of the exact 8 movement. The reason that people are in this is because they're frustrated and pissed off with the way that the system works, that the top are built to stay at the top by means like what you're watching happen with the stock market right now, right? Massive amounts of debt, massive amounts of leveraging, massive amounts of inflation, inflationary sort of price that you watch happen in the stock market every day. I mean, just looking at the SPY, think about the fact that COVID was almost 18 months ago, and the SPY up until just recently has just been ripping for all-time highs. It's just been ripping nonstop for almost a year and a half. You know, it makes absolutely no sense. And this is not normal. This is inflationary. This is a bunch of leveraged cash, a bunch of freaking margin that's just getting pumped into the stock market on top of all of the freaking tactics that come to fruition to push stocks up or down, whichever direction these big firms want to move things. And with that being said, AMC is being affected by that right now. It absolutely 100% is, you know. Where's this looking at right now? You know, I don't like bullshitting people. I like to tell you how it is, and it looks like there is more downside. So looking at this overall stock, I found the most success in terms of being able to predict moves up and down by looking at supply and demand zones. Now, what does that mean? It's choppy price action or essentially just consolidation up and down trading before a big move either up or down. And the next zone that this could potentially fall down to, just like it did here today, right? I put that out in yesterday's video, said this is probably where we're going to see this drop down to if it continues on the downtrend. Is right here, right? It could potentially drop down to this level right here. And that sucks to say. It really does. It really does. $35 to about 36.10 maybe is the sort of the next down zone if it does continue on this freaking straight ladder down that you're watching these big hedge funds push on the stock. Now the bull case scenario, and I freaking love to see it, but to be completely honest, I'm optimistic, but I'm being realistic here. The bull case scenario is it gets a bounce out of this demand zone and back up into that $41 range. Which one's more likely? Which one's the more realistic situation? To be honest with you guys, into tomorrow, based on the data, based on the options flow, you've got 80% of call put premium coming in as puts, 73% volume as put volume, right? The overall trend is bearish. I think in the short term, you are going to watch the stock go down. And these videos are tough to make. They are, because I feel the same way that you guys do. And it's easy when the stock is green and ripping to say, I knew it. We were right. We were right. We're doing the right thing. You know, it's hard when the stock is not doing what you think, when your conviction and your hypothesis is being tested. You know, and that's what this is right now. It's a test. The price is a test as of right now. Now, can I predict how long this downtrend is going to go? I really can't. I mean, I could take a stab at it. I can look at the freaking daily candles and do some form of TA and this and that, but the truth of the matter is there's a lot of big world outside factors playing into the stock market right now, which are influencing the stock market itself, individual securities itself, and big firms in and of themselves. And that's playing into the way that this is trading right now. It's playing into the price action, you know? So I think that's more important than TA is right now, to take a macroscopic view at the world and what's actually happening to get an idea of what can potentially go down here. And the economy looks tough. So what I'm hoping for, I think this is the best case scenario. I'm going to give you my final words after that, and we'll leave it on your way, is my hypothesis, right? I have a theory. I think that what you're watching happen right now is the 20% of institutions who own this stock are liquidating out of all of their main long positions that they've just been holding for a prolonged period of time. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if that's bought up, and that's a big if, right? Apes have to buy that up. If that's bought up by apes and that's controlled by apes, you guys are increasing, the apes increase the overall amount of money, the amount of shares that are controlled by everyday average freaking people who love eating bananas, who love drinking Kraken, who wear their glasses when they sit at the desk, even though they freaking suck. You know, that is a short-term problem that can make a long-term solution in some sort of sense. Now, obviously, it's your own guys' financial responsibility, your own decision. All they ask is you have a plan. You don't over leverage into anything. I want everybody to feed themselves. I wanted you to keep the roof over your head and all that sort of stuff. And I'm gonna leave you with this, right? Controllables and uncontrollables. Can you control the outside world right now? Can you control Evergrande? Can you control that whole situation that's starting to look a lot like the Lehman Brothers from 2008? Can you control the stock price right now as an individual person? No. But you can't control your psychology. You can't control how you react to every other person on planet Earth. You can't control what you choose to read and not read. You can choose how you interact with people, right? Now, I say all these things not because it's some feel-good bunch of bullshit, right? But because it actually matters. For a stock like this that's driven by sentiment, that's driven by a community, right? The community crumbles. That affects things. That is going to 100% affect the way that you look at the stock price. Because think about it from this perspective. If there's a new buyer that came in today, right, and their first experience with the AMC community is good, fuck yeah. They're going to stick around because they want to stand for those people. They're going to fight for the brother on their left and the sister on their right, you know? But if it's something else, that changes the picture. Control what you can control, right? You can control when you buy, you can control when you sell, you can control your psychology, and you can control what you digest, right? Fixate on that. Fixate on the things that you can control. Don't worry about the things that you cannot. Try and make noise, right? That's what I try to do about the things that I can't control. I make it known. I speak out against it. But at the end of the day, there is only the things that you can do as an individual person, and focus on that, right? That's going to make a difference. And the way that you handle this, you know, look at it as a long-term investment, as I have said, for 9 months, right? Because you're not going to stress out over any individual day of price action if you think it's worth this, but it's actually trading at this. You know, that's the best way that I can put that. And hopefully that leaves you with some sort of, I don't know, with something better than you came. I'm no freaking wizard. I'm no guru. I'm just a freaking guy who's trying to wear his glasses, who sometimes cuts a part in the side of his head and likes to drink Kraken. And that's what I've got for this video. So blah, blah, blah. I know spiel. Drop a like, consider subscribing. Everything, my friends. Catch you on the next one. Much love, like taps. And peace.